Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be diving deep into the Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta. In yesterday's video, I told you guys that it was far too early for me to really judge the game because the game was only out for a couple of hours when I made my video, but after putting in about 6 or 7 hours into the beta, I think I'm finally ready to let you guys know what I think is good, what I think is bad, and just review the Black Ops 4 multiplayer experience as we know it so far. Before we get started, I would like to give you guys a few caveats. Number one, this video is likely going to be longer than normal because it's hard to wrap up the totality of a beta into one nice 4-minute package for you guys. Like, I could try to do that, but I don't think any valuable information would actually be in that video. Number two, these are only my first impressions and everything is very much subject to change. And number three, please do not hide behind the word beta like it's some sort of a magic shield, because this happens every single year and it frustrates me more than you guys can imagine. People think that because a game is in beta, that it is immune to all criticism, but that's the entire point of a beta. We are meant to critique the game, we are meant to try everything out, we are meant to review every aspect of the game, and we are supposed to give valuable feedback to the developers so they can make the game even better before it comes out in October. That's what betas are for. They are designed not only to bolster pre-orders and build hype for the game, but they are also used by the developers to gather valuable feedback and valuable information so that the game can be made even better in the long run. So with that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into Black Ops 4 and discuss whether or not I personally think it is a good game. So far, based on my experience with the beta, which once again is very subject to change, I like Black Ops 4, but I don't like it in the way that I thought I would. The entire time I've been playing this game, I can't help but shake the feeling that this is not a traditional Call of Duty game, and all of the traditional Call of Duty features are actually some of the worst parts of the game itself. I know that may sound confusing to some of you, so allow me to explain. I absolutely hate domination and hardpoint here in Black Ops 4. I keep playing those modes, I keep finding myself getting more and more frustrated with them because to my core, I honestly don't believe that this game was designed with traditional Call of Duty respawn game modes in mind. Now, a quick bit of backstory for those of you who do not know me as a Call of Duty player, maybe you just happened to stumble upon this video or you saw it in the recommended tab or something like that. I pretty much only play respawn game modes. Like back during Call of Duty 4 and World at War, which is when I first started playing, I exclusively played Search and Destroy, but after Modern Warfare 2 came out and trick shotters infested Search and Destroy, I started playing respawn game modes and I've been playing them ever since. So for the past decade, I've been pretty much playing exclusively domination, ground war, hardpoint, and kill confirmed, and in my opinion, so far, the domination and hardpoint modes that we find here in Black Ops 4 are the worst that we have ever seen in the franchise. Now, I know that sounds dramatic, but it's not because of over-the-top rule changes or anything like that. I think it's because the maps were not designed for these game modes. I don't think that the respawn points make any sense or have any structure to them whatsoever, and I feel as though the new health mechanics, the healing mechanics, and the specialist abilities just do not work well in fast-paced modes such as these. As you guys can see from the gameplay, these modes are mostly just a giant cluster of people being everywhere at once. There's no flow to the maps or the modes, and with everybody having 150 health by default, coupled in with the fact that you can jump like 5 feet in the air and slide constantly, it's harder now to pick up a double kill or a triple kill than has ever been before, right? So you really need your team to help you out when playing these game modes, but nobody ever wants to actually help each other out. In theory, this game was designed from the ground up to encourage longer gunfights and have teammates work together, but in practice, what you guys see here with the beta is people don't actually do anything like that. Instead of teammates working together to lock down an area and use their specialist abilities in unison to shut down an enemy team and take the objective, players mostly just slide and jump around aimlessly with the MX-9 submachine gun, which is really out of balance as of right now. They use their specialist abilities on cooldown like they're a free kill streak, and they flip spawns constantly every chance they can get, right? And the end result is a super chaotic experience where objective play really doesn't matter because you're just going to spawn on the opposing team's flags anyway, and there really isn't any structure to either of these game modes. Now, once again, this is the beta and everything is subject to change, and it's also worth mentioning that right now everybody's experiencing the maps and the modes for the very first time, so a proper metagame has not been able to develop, but so far I really dislike the traditional respawn game modes here in Black Ops 4. 4. I'm interested to see how these modes are going to play out once the throwback maps are added to the game at launch. For those who don't know, we are going to be getting a ton of throwback maps like Nuketown, Jungle, Firing Range, Summit, and Slums. They're all coming back this year, and I'll be interested to see if it's the game itself which is making these modes not play well, or if maybe it's just the multiplayer maps, because obviously it's very hard to tell. We just got the game. We're just now experiencing it for the very first time. I'm going to continue trying out these modes. I'm going to continue trying to see how they develop, but as of right now, I really don't like Domination or Hardpoint, and with those being two of the pillars of the Call of Duty multiplayer experience for years and years now, that really has me concerned about the future of this game. But on the flip side of things, I absolutely love the new game mode Control as well as Chaos Team Deathmatch. I've talked about this extensively on Twitter, so those of you guys who follow me on Twitter, you've probably heard all this before, but I honestly and truly believe that the Black Ops 4 multiplayer was designed with the game modes Control, Search and Destroy, and to a lesser extent Team Deathmatch in mind. Everything about this game just makes so much more sense in these game modes. When you play Control, there are two objectives on the map that the attacking team needs to take and the defending team needs to hold on to. Each team gets 30 lives in the round, and once they are down to 6 lives, there is no more respawning, so suddenly it becomes like Search and Destroy, and it's a lot more tactical. The first team to take 3 rounds is the winner, and this kind of tactical gameplay is exactly what Black Ops 4 was designed around. In game modes like Domination and Hardpoint, people are just running around aimlessly with whatever specialist they feel like, but when you play Control, people are picking specific specialists based on the objective and how they can best benefit the team. Like on offense here, you're going to oftentimes see people running Seraph so they can put down a respawn beacon right outside of the objective. On defense, you're going to see people running Torque because he is incredibly good at holding down areas. He's basically the ultimate anti-rusher, and I remember when I saw his abilities being showcased at the E3 reveal, I thought to myself, thinking of this game as a normal Call of Duty game, I thought to myself, nobody's going to play him. Who cares about putting down tripwire? Who cares about putting down a barricade? How's that really going to help you out in a game mode like Kill Confirmed? Or how is that really going to help you out in a game mode like Domination? Turns out it doesn't really help you out that much in game modes like that, but in Control, it really does help you, and he's honestly one of the most powerful specialists in the entire game. You then look at other specialists out there like Crash, who I personally love playing as, because he can heal his entire team and give them a 50 armor shield right before you take an objective, which can really turn the tides. Then you have other characters like Recon, who can spot the entire enemy team and allow your team to see them through walls. In this game mode, specialists are extremely powerful. They're all very important to your team and winning, and that's what I like about them, right? It feels so much different than like an average Call of Duty game. Even going back to Black Ops 3, the specialists in that game didn't matter. Now, they did to an extent in competitive, and they did to an extent in Search and Destroy, but in every other Respawn game mode, they were just basically these free kill streaks that people played as, right? They didn't actually help your team out all that much, but here in Black Ops 4, and especially in the game mode Control, they do matter, they are important, and every single specialist is valuable to the team. Now, like I said, it's possible that this will end up being true of all the game modes, including Domination and Hardpoint, but as of right now, it really does seem like Black Ops 4 is best experienced in the game modes Control, as well as Chaos Team Deathmatch, and I would assume Search and Destroy once that becomes available, because as of right now, it's not yet available, but it will be coming out later on down the line. And the reason why I think these game modes are so much better for Black Ops 4 is because they are slower, they are more structured, and they really allow you to experience the game the way it was intended to be experienced. Because again, if you go and play those Respawn game modes and you try to play this game as if it was a normal Call of Duty game, you're going to find that it's really chaotic, you're going to find it's very frustrating, because every time you turn a corner and there are 2 people there, you basically can't kill them both because there's 300 health worth of damage there, and there's not a whole lot you can do. It's a really weird experience. Like, this game is really fun, but it's not fun in the way that other Call of Duty games are fun, which is really off-putting. Do you guys remember a few months ago, there were all those leaks going out that claimed that Black Ops 4 was going to be similar to Overwatch and Rainbow Six and not feel as much like a Call of Duty game? Well, after playing the beta, so far that's honestly been my takeaway. I don't think that Treyarch designed this game to play like a traditional Call of Duty game whatsoever, and I would love to hear what you guys think about that down there in the comment section below, because on one hand, a lot of us want Black Ops 4 to play like a normal Call of Duty game because we all love the Call of Duty series, but on the other hand, a lot of us want to see the series grow. We want to see the series evolve. We want some change to happen because Call of Duty's been coming out every year since like pretty much 2003. There needs to be some change at some point, and there's definitely a lot of change here in Black Ops 4. So I would love to hear what you guys think about that down there in the comment section below. What do you think of Black Ops 4 so far? But moving away from the modes themselves, I want to give you guys some thoughts and feelings on the general gameplay changes that we have seen so far in the beta. In regards to the 150 base health, as a design concept, I don't actually hate the idea. I typically typically like longer time to kill in Call of Duty games, but this game's time to kill is so slow that picking up a double kill is probably the hardest it's ever been in the Call of Duty series. Like, if you turn a corner and you see two people, the chances of you taking out both of them are incredibly low because, again, there's like 300 health right there versus your 150, and your gun's not going to be able to melt them all that quickly unless they're really bad players. I also think that the health makes most of the weapons feel really weak by default, and the most powerful weapons are going to stand out more so than they normally would, as compared to a game like Modern Warfare 2, where the time to kill was incredibly fast, and therefore every weapon felt viable. How many of you played competitive COD back then? I know there's very few of you around that probably still play Call of Duty that played competitive Modern Warfare 2 back in the day, but because of how the time to kill was set up back then, the weapon variety in competitive was probably the best we've ever seen in the Call of Duty franchise. People would oftentimes switch between the UMP-45, or the FAMAS, or the holographic M16, or the holographic FAL, or the TAR-21, or the SCAR, or the P90, or the Intervention, or the 50 cal. Like, there were so many weapons that were viable, even in competitive back in Modern Warfare 2, but I don't think that's going to be the case here in Black Ops 4, because the time to kill is so slow that one or two weapons are likely going to rise above the rest and just be used by pretty much everybody. So far, one of those weapons appears to be the MX-9 submachine gun. It's already pretty strong by default, but then you combine that with the fact that you can slide super far and constantly jump 5 feet in the air with no diminishing returns whatsoever. It really seems like this game was built to reward rushing and using a strong submachine gun, so that's why the MX-9 is really good, and it's why I expect it to be nerfed in the relatively near future. But speaking of nerfing and speaking of jumping, I really hope that jumping gets nerfed into the ground here in Black Ops 4, because for some reason, all of our characters are Olympic level high jumpers, and we can jump over pretty much everything in this game, which is a huge contradiction on the part of Treyarch, because for those that don't know, they have been waging this war on drop shotting for years now. They don't like it, they think it's a cheap way of getting kills, and that is very evident here in Black Ops 4 by how slowly you go prone and how slowly you get back up from prone. What also doesn't make sense is just how slowly you swap weapons and how slowly you pick up other people's weapons. It seems like everything in this game is designed to be slower and for the player to put more thought into each decision, but then you have people sliding around like crazy and jumping 5 feet in the air. It's really strange that everything in this game besides movement is made to be slower and feel more tactical, and when they said that the game was going to be 100% boots on the ground, they failed to mention that this game rewards jump shotting more so than any other boots on the ground game in the history of the Call of Duty franchise. So I find that contradiction to be really off-putting, but aside from that, I really do like the weapon level up system. I love that Pick 10 is back. I like how the attachments are determined for each specific weapon. So one submachine gun can have rapid fire as an attachment, but another submachine gun may not have rapid fire, but it may have like long barrel 2 or something like that makes it even better at long ranges. I like how that system is playing out so far. I love the fact that each attachment looks different based on each weapon. I love the fact that putting shots into somebody gives you pretty much the same amount of score as if you actually picked up the kill, and I think that score streaks so far are okay, though honestly I haven't seen a whole lot of them. Mostly I just see the occasional Hellstorm or maybe an attack helicopter, and I think it goes back to what I was talking about in the previous video that I put out this week, that Call of Duty should really try to make kill streaks, score streaks, point streaks, whatever streaks they're doing in that game, they should work to make sure that those streaks are actually a much bigger factor in the online multiplayer, like they were back in Modern Warfare 2, like they were back in the original Black Ops, or Modern Warfare 3, or even Black Ops 2, because so far, and again, it's very early on in the beta, everything is subject to change, but so far, it's actually pretty rare for me to see a Hellstorm missile. It's also really rare for me to see an attack helicopter. Now, I myself can get them somewhat consistently, but even then, it's still actually kind of hard to get them, because we are going off of that score streak system, and score streaks are incredibly difficult to balance. They're always trying to find this perfect balance of cost of these score streaks and power of the score streaks, and right now, for how powerful they are, I feel as though they cost a little bit too much. Those are just my personal thoughts and feelings. I'd love to hear what you guys think down there in the comment section below. And when it comes to the multiplayer maps, I really do think they suffer from being too ant farm-like. I do tend to prefer more open maps with longer sight lines, because I personally feel as though they reward more styles of play. If every map is designed just for submachine gun and shotgun play, then submachine guns and shotguns are going to dominate the game, right? The reason why games like Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2 were so popular is because all the maps in those games were designed for pretty much every weapon type to excel, right? I mean, rushers could rush if they were actually good, back when rushing was actually a skill and not just something that was encouraged by the game developers. Snipers could actually snipe from long distances. Assault rifles could actually have a bit of distance between themselves and the SMG players. Shotgunners, of course, could be very successful if they could navigate the map properly. In those games, every weapon type was viable on pretty pretty much every map barring a couple of exceptions, but so far I don't feel as though Treyarch did a great job of catering to all playstyles here in Black Ops 4, and I don't think that's because I don't have enough time in the game yet or that I'm bad at the game. Like, if you look at the maps that are currently available, how many of them can you properly snipe in? How many of those maps do you think to yourself, yeah, I should not use a submachine gun here? Right? Because the vast majority of them are very tight corridors, very tight alleyways everywhere you go. It's kind of like an ant farm in a way, and I really don't like that design. But of course, we do still have a bunch of old school Call of Duty maps coming back later on down the pipeline. Of course, there can be Jungle and Summit and Firing Range and all of those maps. So I'll be interested to see how the game is going to play out after those maps are added to the game. But one thing I really do like about Black Ops 4 is the fact that they have brought color back to the Call of Duty franchise. Now, I know some of you guys really like Black Ops 3. A lot of you guys like Infinite Warfare, even Advanced Warfare, but I'm not like that big of a fan of Advanced Movement, and therefore for the past couple of years I've pretty much exclusively played Modern Warfare Remastered and Call of Duty World War II, which means I've been staring at brown and gray maps for far too long, and then when I hop on Black Ops 4 here, it's honestly a breath of fresh air. I feel as though a lot of people underestimate just how much something like color can impact a player's enjoyment of a game. I've seen so many people, especially people in the pro scene, saying that Call of Duty World War II makes them feel depressed because they play the game for hours on end, and the colors they're looking at the entire time are nothing but browns and grays and greens, and I'm happy that Black Ops 4 is going to be having a more lighthearted, fun approach to their design, which you may not think is actually true, but just watch the gameplay here. Notice how the ladder just so happens to be yellow instead of gray or brown. Notice how the water is a very bright shade of blue. Notice how the crates, instead of being like normal shipping containers that are like gray or green or brown, notice how they're orange for some reason. Notice how the tarps themselves are very bright and colorful as well. This is all very much intentional on the part of Treyarch, and I'm very, very thankful for that. I think bright colors is something we need to have back in the Call of Duty franchise, and all in all, I think that Black Ops 4 is actually a very fun game. But going full circle here, it's interesting that the things I find most fun about the game are not things that we have seen in Call of Duty traditionally. I honestly think that this game was designed to be different than Call of Duty. If you go into this game thinking that it's going to play like other CODs you've played before, I'm worried that you are going to be wildly disappointed. And those, ladies and gentlemen, are my first impressions so far of the Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta. I'm very excited to finish up this video and hop right back in and start leveling up some more and keep unlocking things and trying everything out, and I would love to hear what you guys think about Black Ops 4 so far down there in the comment section below. Did this game live up to the hype? Did it kill all of its hype? Is this the end of the Call of Duty franchise? Are you enjoying your time so far? And if you are, what do you personally like most about the game? Leave all your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.